All right, welcome back, everybody. We're keeping up our promise. Well, maybe
We
not.
missed 1 week.
Yeah, we missed a week, but it's bi-weekly here. So back with another episode of podcast. It's just Owen and I today. Just more of a chill podcast since our last podcast was very hectic. This is more chill and just talking about what's going on and what we've been getting into recently. So
First, before we get into what we've been getting into recently, this is a topic I wanted to talk about that I was noticing. So at work I bought, or I didn't buy stuff at work, but for work I bought a bunch of different colored shirts, just plain shirts, because I didn't want to get any of my other shirts dirty anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because I'm full time now, so I want to I don't know, get work clothes for work and all that. So I have all these different color shirts. So I want to ask you a question. Besides black and white, what color do you think gets the dirtiest out of any color?
Besides black or white, yellow gets really dirty.
Yellow, it does get a little dirty, but what I've noticed for the past month of what shirt gets dirtiest, in one shift, it's orange.
Oh, I don't wear any orange, so
I wouldn't have expected it to be orange, but every time I wear the orange shirt, it's brown after the shift is done. So I'm great. So then I throw it in the laundry or whatever.
I had noticed if it's any lighter color, just because since we both work in a warehouse right now and it's almost summer.
Yellow hasn't been too bad though. It was alright.
Yeah, it's just when you sweat, it darkens the color.
That's true.
And depending on the material, if it's just a cloth material, it's just gonna absorb all.
Weirdly enough, I don't sweat. I don't sweat much when working. I don't think I sweat very much in general, but or I sweat a lot, but I don't my sweat doesn't show. It's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I wear a while ago for work. I got hockey players wear this. It's just under long sleeves. That's is that material that's I don't know, the athletic material that doesn't absorb sweat.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look as bad. But yeah. But the more interesting matters.
What interesting?
Well, I guess I'll lead into this first, since you want to talk about it. Walking Dead.
You want to talk about that first? All right.
Yeah, I've been getting, probably just because we talked about it too. I've been getting recommended a lot of Walking Dead reels, more about the show than the games.
So,
but
before this year, I had no experience with. I'm gonna make a similar post on Instagram when I'm almost because I have 2 seasons left. So on my final season, I'm gonna make a post about it on my story. But before this year, I had no experience with the Walking Dead universe at all. I didn't watch the show, didn't read the comics, didn't play the game. So I had the Walking Dead season 1 in my library on Steam for 3 years now. I just never touched it. And finally I was so one day I was I'm gonna just go through reverse alphabetical and start playing games that I haven't played and start kind of clear out my inventory for Steam. Yeah. So Walking Dead was at the bottom, near the bottom. So I was alright, let me play the Walking Dead. And I get through the season 1 of the Walking Dead, and it was way better than I imagined. Yeah. So after that, playing through that Walking Dead season 1, I was fuck, I need to get every other Walking Dead season now. So I went to get season 2, and it was so sad because I wrote this down actually. So sorry. When I finished season 1 and got into season 2, when I went to go buy season 2, I looked at the thumbnail for season 2, and I'll show a picture on screen of what it looks like. It made me really scared because Clementine's by herself and holding her arm. So I was oh my god, because we come off little girl Clementine who's a helpless little child, but she grows a little bit in season 1 because Lee teaches her a bunch of stuff. But I was scared, and then but after I played season 2 and 3, I finished 2 and 3. It made me really see they did such a great job developing Clementine as a character in both of those seasons to be the one she is in season 4. and like it makes me feel like this is gonna sound weird because it's a fictional character, but like I was like proud of her, like how like much she's grown as a character.
Yeah. It's called good writing.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
it's just I really enjoyed. Like a lot of people don't like season 2, which I can see why they don't like it, but I like it. There's a lot of stuff I like about it, but a lot of people don't like season 2 because every character in season 2 is kind of an idiot because you play as a girl and they expect you to do like stuff that like an adult would do, like make decisions and do this because you're obviously playing as a character that makes decisions, but you're playing as a little girl, so like it makes them look like
it doesn't
they can't do anything.
make sense. Yeah.
But Kenny and Clementine kind of carry that season. But there's a bunch of aspects I do like about that season. Like there's stuff that happens in the season that leads into season 3, and then etc. There's a character from season 2 that's born in season 2 that's in season 4. And yeah, Clementine has become one of my favorite like fictional characters in media from playing these games.
Yeah, she's a very good character. Again, Walking Dead isn't like a... The zombies are just kind of an external factor. That's not really a story. It's really a drama. It's really about
how
the
you survive in
characters
the world where there are zombies
against humans
and how people like respond to it.
Yeah, it's heavy acting and characterization.
Yeah. Another thing I like. I will say this about season 2 and 3. They were great in their own ways, but what I like about season 1 and 4 versus 2 and 3, I think 1 and 4 are my favorites so far. I'm halfway through season 4, so I'll have my entire thoughts on it once I'm finished with it. But so far what I've liked is the time, like it takes more time between like actions sets for season 1 and 4, like to develop characters. You have conversations with characters like in between, and I appreciate the development you have with those characters in 1 and 4. It makes it feel more genuine and makes it feel makes the loss of those characters once you lose them feel like a greater impact. Season 2 has some scenes like that, but it kind of just jumps straight into, oh, we got to do this, this, and this, so you don't get that time to develop. Season 3 also, the thing with season 3 is that it introduces an entire new character, and he's the main character, Javier, and it introduces his family, so you kind of like only get that game to get to know them. So that's what, and then Clementine's story is kind of like the B plot, basically. But so it's interesting, but I don't mind season 3. It's an interesting take on it, and I liked Javier. Javier kind of reminded me of he wasn't voiced by Troy Baker, but a lot of the lines kind of gave me Troy Baker vibes. Oh yeah, speaking of like that, not Troy Baker in particular, but like Nathan Drake and all that. Something I noticed, and I don't know if this is my theory is gonna be confirmed once I'm finished with season 4 because I'm still in the middle of it. Something I noticed with each Walking Dead season, I noticed this in season 3, is the main villain in each season of The Walking Dead matches the main villain in each Uncharted game. So season 1, for instance, with Uncharted 1, the main villain is somebody you wouldn't expect. It's the Stranger in season 1, and then the main villain in Uncharted 1 is Navarro. You wouldn't expect that. You'd expect.
Well, he is kind of a villain.
Yeah,
like you don't like him.
No, but
he's led up the.
But what I mean is, you wouldn't expect him. You would expect it to be Gabriel Roman to be the main villain, but then he shoots him.
Oh yeah, at the end.
And then, which by the way, I think the Stranger's the most underrated Walking Dead villain, because he's kind of the reason why Lee dies. So,
yeah.
Well, kinda, but kidnapping Clementine and all that. And then season 2's villain is Carver. So he's kind of like this.
Is he a paramilitary? Dictator.
He's a dictator type of person. He's like a very ruthless killer who would do anything to like survive this apocalypse. And he's very intimidating with the way he like walks and talks, and like he like the way he moves gives me Lazarevich vibes.
Lazarevich.
Yeah.
I forgot Lazarevich is Serbian, which I think is just hilarious.
Yeah.
It's such a weird characterization. But Lazarevich is like a paramilitary, and he wants to get this power from the
right. Which Carver wants all the power in his little warehouse. Like well, it doesn't count as extreme as Lazarevich, but he like runs the entire thing though, and there's like so many people there. and he kills people. He shoved that one guy off the roof of the building in front of two little girls. Beats the shit out of Kenny, which he was gonna kill him until he was stopped. So yeah, Carver's the main villain of season 2, and he gives me a lot of. He's not exactly like Lazarevich, but he gives me a lot of Lazarevich vibes. That one was probably the biggest stretch of all of them. Gotcha. Season 3, so there's a character called Joan, who is kind of like a political old lady, not old lady, but she's like middle-aged lady, who Catherine Marlowe from Uncharted 3. Yeah. Like very, the way she talks influences what you do. Like she's very like manipulative. And she's conniving, and she pulls the strings.
Is there a Talbot?
Kinda, but he's kind of nicer. He's Clint.
Oh.
Clint is kind of like when Joan tries to execute David, and she ends up. This is a bunch of spoilers, by the way. I'm gonna put a timestamp with you.
I mean, you already said Lee died.
I know. Before, I'll put a subtitle before I said that to say spoilers. Skip ahead to here if you don't want to be spoiled. I'll be nice. But so Joan gives you the choice to execute Tripp, who's with you since the beginning of the game of season 3, or Ava, which is David's best like lieutenant. And so whoever you choose, she kills anyway, basically. And when she does that, when she executes whoever you choose, Clint is like, this is fucked up. This is not how we do things. So he's not really a Talbot, but he's also in charge.
Talbot is honestly
does whatever Marlowe
he's kind of just mindless in the games.
Exactly.
I realized in 3 he kind of just gets himself killed because he's like, oh, she died, and then he just tries to kill Nate when it's.
But one of my favorite lines is after she executes him, or them, whoever you choose. Clint is like, we'll give you a choice. You can either leave with your friends and we'll give you supplies and you can be on your way and get out and never return, or you can, shoot Joan. He doesn't give you the choice to shoot Joan. That's just what he offers you to do. David is like, shoot that bitch. What up, like he has a noose around his neck and everything. He's like, shoot her, fuck her. And so you have the choice to shoot her or not fuck her, or to leave with your friends. I chose the leave with your friends option. So whichever option you choose, if you shoot Joan, she dies, obviously. But if you choose the deal, Joan gets away and Clint gets shot by David. So you basically choose who lives in that scenario between Clint and Joan. But yeah, Joan is a little bitch and Marlowe's a little bitch, so that's why they're the that they reminded me so much of each other. So that's when I developed the theory that each antagonist is like each antagonist from each game. All right, so now to 4. I'm not finished with 4 yet.
So does Clementine's brother come from
no
the deep, and then
no, but so Rafe Adler is a character from Nate's past who helped him out in the past.
Oh, I wouldn't say
helped him get out of jail. Yeah, is what I mean. So, but then after decades of trying to do something, he comes back to like be a thorn in Nate's side, basically. I'm summarizing it.
Yeah, because he works with Rafe, and then they don't find anything, and that's the reason why they fall out.
So, a character that comes back in season 4 that was allies with Clementine in the past was Lily. Lily comes back, and she's in a military camp because they mentioned in season 1 how she used to be in the military. Mm-hmm. She like leads a military camp to recruit kids. They steal kids from this school and recruit them to fight in a war against another military camp. That's what I see.
Walking Dead gets.
That's what I see.
Crazy. What the hell?
I'm only on episode 2, so that's what I know. Or I'm on episode 3. I finished episode 2. Lily's revealed in episode 2. So I'll see what happens with that. But I was like, oh, Lily, this confirms my thing. Lily is Rafe.
Sounds like she's like a hybrid Nadine.
Yeah,
Rafe.
That too. Like that even fits better with 4 then. She's a hybrid of Nadine and Rafe.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But I think that spreads a wider theory. You could probably fit the similarities of any franchise with any.
But it works out so well because there's 4 seasons of Clementine's story and 4 Uncharted games. Yeah.
But yeah.
And then there's Michonne.
What about Lost Legacy?
And Lost Legacy.
So that's Lost Legacy.
Yeah.
All right.
Just kidding. But no, that I just thought that was weird.
So is Nate Clementine?
Yeah, could be. And Sully is Lee.
Dies?
Yeah, but you always. I remember in middle school, you always talked about how you were disappointed in Uncharted 4 because you wanted Sully to die.
Well, I didn't want him to die. I thought for the narrative,
Yeah.
I thought like the way Uncharted was led, it's called a thief's end. So you literally think like, oh, Nate is going to get punished for getting back into the fray because he just retired, and the whole point is it's so dangerous, and you're putting the ones you love in danger. So you think he'd get punished for it, and he isn't. So that's the only thing. When I replayed the game, I really liked the ending. It was the 10 years of Uncharted 4 recently, and I watched Uncharted 4 went through a lot in development. And the original story was written by someone else. It wasn't written by Neil Druckmann and the other guy. It was written by a girl, Amy something was her name, and the story was completely different. Sam was going to be the villain because Sam was going to come back into Nate's life and pull him back into this and kind of like...
But you can kind of see from the beginning.
Yeah, because they fight. So that's kind of like... He would have been more of the villain in the game where Nate actually fights Sam at the end and kills him. Or Sam dies. He never really kind of kills his enemies outright, but like... Yeah, Sam dies. And they changed the story over the course of time. So that would have been more interesting, but it would have been interesting to see her vision. But, with this, I think it's like a ride off into the sunset type ending. Like, it's just everyone...
Which is what Uncharted 3 was.
Yeah, Uncharted 3 is just Indiana Jones. Last Crusade. But, yeah, the... Uncharted 4, though, I really like the ending when you play it. And I watched another YouTuber, I forget his name, who had like a kid recently, and he says like Uncharted 4 is even better when you have a kid because it's like passing off the torch.
I think said that.
Yeah, it was Video Game Donkey, where he says like when you have a kid, this game's even better. So I think that's what's best. The only thing I'm a little worried, there's all these rumors about Uncharted 5 coming back.
I think you're getting the same things I get on Instagram with all these reels.
Yeah.
I think they're just fans making those.
You just read, and I was like...
I don't think that's going to happen.
And I looked up the rumors, and it's hilarious. The stupid Google AI said, Uncharted 5 is confirmed to release. And it's just a fan-made trailer. So it's not even right. But, I don't know if we'll see it. Like, Uncharted 4 made a lot of money, so I could see them tempted to try and throw... But Nate's story's over, so if you're going to do another Uncharted, it's got to be Sam solely.
Or his daughter.
His daughter getting into it, but I don't know. It might just become Tomb Raider at that point if they don't play it correctly.
Last couple things about The Walking Dead. So one thing with Telltale I didn't realize is that after episode 2 of season 4, which is the one I just played and finished, Telltale got shut down.
They started losing a lot of money at the end. I mean, it's the same formula. People got tired of it.
That's true.
I
will say they went out with a bang. If that's the last thing they did, I think I read somewhere that they did have input in the final 2 episodes. So I'll see how they actually ended. Yeah. But I think their Walking Dead franchise is the best thing they produced out of anything. I've heard good things about The Wolf Among Us and
that's what I want to play, Wolf Among Us.
I heard Jacksepticeye said Tales of the Borderlands was pretty good.
I watched those back in the day, yeah.
And then there was the Batman series, and then I heard Game of Thrones was shit.
Yeah. They're kind of a interesting game company because they kind of came out of nowhere. They're able to get Walking Dead, and their first season was such a hit. Walking Dead was like when I think of the past, was like a phenomenon. Because everyone was watching the show, everyone was getting into Telltale. You started seeing every YouTuber was playing that. We started seeing spin-off. I remember there was like a Dale and his
Something
brother.
really cool is that I didn't realize this. So my sister pointed this out to me last night actually because I was trying to we watched season 1 together, episode 1 of the Telltale series. Glenn and Herschel. So Glenn and Herschel are characters from the show that are in the first episode of season 1. Glenn leaves at the end of episode 1 to go to his friends in Atlanta, and my sister showed me the scenes from Glenn in the first episode or one of the episodes of Walking Dead. I don't remember which one, but I had the theory that maybe this is the prequel, to that, of Glenn going into the show, him driving off.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
it is.
And then Herschel, my sister came up with this as well. Sean, he loses Sean. because fucking Duck's an idiot.
Yeah.
So, my sister pointed out that Herschel on his farm kept his son in his barn, but he was a walker, and people were like, Herschel, you're fucking insane. You need to kill this boy, like, because he's not alive anymore. She said that was happening during the show.
Well, yeah, that's a huge plot point. So the plot point is with Herschel is that he keeps walkers in the barn because he thinks they can be cured. He thinks they're still human. So that's a whole plot point of the comics. And
so Herschel's story as well, when he loses Sean, is also a prequel then.
Yeah, that's before the actual main crew gets to the farm.
Because my sister thought originally it was season 1, but she was like, oh wait, Herschel's farm was season 2.
Yeah.
So.
Season 1 is kind of, we follow Rick getting out of the
Rick
hospital.
was cool too. I saw a couple scenes with him.
Yeah. The first 2 seasons are great. They're really close to the comics. So that, I'd say Walking Dead is an interesting show because it's not like it's ever just horrible. It just does questionable decisions in the show that makes it over time, and it's just like, it strays so far from the comics as well. So if you read the comics and you're like, this is going to be what is like the show, and then no, not even close, really. Maybe the first season's the closest, but then it really strays off.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Walking Dead 2, with terms of zombies and stuff like that, that was like when we got like a first serious show with zombies.
That was like the zombie era as well, because Call of Duty Black Ops and everything, and
Left 4 Dead was near
Left 4
at
Dead.
that time.
Like zombies were like really popular during that era.
Yeah, Angry Joe, and he always had a gag where he'd be other Joe, OJ, would always say, Joe, you want to play another zombie game? And he's like, no, I don't want to play another zombie game. Yeah, The Walking Dead was like a huge phenomenon, but The Walking Dead's mistake is that it didn't know how to end a show. It made too much money, and now it has like a trillion spin-offs, and they kind of just hurt the continuity, and also just, I think, hurts the universe. It's kind of tough. It depends on...
So it's kind of like Star Wars and that.
Yeah, how you structure yourself. I think what made Star Wars so special was it was more like limited, and like in terms of movies, and stuff like that. And sometimes I think that helps when you like convolute something and it's all over the place, and you get all these loopholes. Now the biggest annoying thing with I have Star Wars is just that like no one dies. And now you've made spin-off characters that are somehow more powerful than the main characters, so that defeats the entire point of the main characters.
I actually really want to see the Mall show, though. I heard really good things about that.
So, yeah, I think that would be good.
It's all out now, but I never got the chance to watch any of it yet.
But, yeah, that's just the annoying thing with Star Wars.
Last thing about The Walking Dead, there's one scene I wanted to talk about. From season 3. This is the game that features the least of Clementine, but it had my favorite scene in season 3, and one of my favorite scenes in the entire series is at the end, when Clementine's about to leave Richmond, saying goodbye to Javier and everything. She asks Javier to do one last thing for her, and it cuts to Javier cutting her hair, and I thought that was really sweet. And they have a cute conversation about baseball, because Javier was a baseball player, and her hat is from a baseball team in that universe, apparently. And he said, if you come back, I'll teach you about baseball and all that.
Expose.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, it was really cute. And my favorite part is her after she's done cutting the hair. I think the hair looks fine. She's like, what do you think? And then he's like, yeah, I'll go grab your hat. I felt so bad. I thought that was funny, though. That was one. I just thought that scene was really sweet.
Javier. The only Javier in terms of fiction I can only think of is Total Drama.
What?
Or that's not Javier, is it? What's his name?
Who the hell is Javier in Total Drama?
Who's the guy introduced in season 3 World Tour?
Oh, Alejandro.
I guess it's not even his name. That's who I was thinking of. Oh, okay. I was like, that's Javier.
When I think of Javier, I think of Javier Baez. So it's another.
Oh yeah, he plays for the Tigers.
Yeah.
So
I saw him live this year because we went to a Reds game and it was against the Tigers.
And he won, didn't he?
Yeah. He won. The last out was him catching a baseball. So.
That was his best game yet.
Yep. But Javier was really cool. I'm halfway through season 4, so I don't know if we'll see Javier again. But I liked the little one-off time we saw him. All right, moving on from Walking Dead. I love The Walking Dead, and Clementine's great, but moving on. I want you to pull this up. The NFL schedule was released like last week, so we're going to talk a little bit about that during this offseason at the end of May. I watched the Aviators game last night as well, and dude, Jalen Morton, I've been hyping up Jalen Morton the entire season. He was the backup quarterback who was always on the sidelines. And our third string quarterback is Julian Sayan's brother, so everyone was like, put in Sayan. I was like, fuck Sayan, put in Morton. Like, I was the only one supporting Morton because he has, like, the stature of a Cam Newton type of player. And they finally started him yesterday, and he led us to a victory. And it was really cool against the Birmingham Stallions. So AJ McCarron was pissing and farting and shitting all over the place because he lost.
Oh, yeah. Before we do football, all right. Basketball.
Oh, yeah, the Cavs suck.
We had two things. Well, first, hockey's been annoying because I don't mind the Eastern Conference. The Canadians are playing the Hurricanes right now. And I'd say everyone wants the Hurricanes to probably win. But I don't mind who wins that because neither of those franchises won in a long time. And the Canadians are the last Canadian team to win a Stanley Cup. So if they come in... I don't mind that either to break the streak. But the Golden Knights, the Vegas Golden Knights, is like the most hated team.
Are they?
And they've, just because they're new and they have so much success.
Oh, okay.
And they're beating the Avalanche, and that there's a curse in hockey. If you get the President's Trophy, which just means you get the most points, you're the best team, or most wins, they haven't won a Stanley Cup since 2015 when the Blackhawks won, and they won the President's Cup.
So it's like the NFL MVP not winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but it's a whole team. The whole team gets it. But yeah, they lost twice against the Vegas Golden Knights, and now everyone's hates the Golden Knights, says they cheat and all that. And NBA, I actually like the Knicks now because they have McBride, who's from West Virginia.
The Knicks now? It's like the opposite of me. I used to like the Knicks and now I hate them.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know who was on the team. I just knew Brunson and Towns, but McBride, who's also a good player, is from West Virginia. So I don't mind if they win. And I'll definitely root for them if they play against the Thunder.
What?
Because I do not like the Thunder.
Who is the Thunder? They're playing the Spurs, right?
Yeah. All the Thunder do is force fouls, so they're not fun to watch.
Think about it this way. They're the Seattle Supersonics. It's actually the Supersonics.
Well, no. They stole the Supersonics from the team.
Is that what Expos fans were pissed in 2019? Great, the Nationals won a championship.
The Expos, yeah. But, yeah. But now the schedule, I guess we could just start
with week one, to be honest. Just look at week one. We can look at our teams after that.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll see our teams in each week anyways, so we don't have to...
We're not going to go through every week, though.
Oh, but... Yeah, week one, Sunday night football is Patriots-Seahawks.
Is that the first game of the year?
It's just a Super Bowl rematch.
Wait, no. Is that Thursday night or Sunday night?
It's Sunday night.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Okay. Is there any Thursday night game for that week?
No.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. And that's the weekend prior. And then, Patriots play the Seahawks. It's kind of a
whatever
game. 49ers play the Rams. Whatever. The Bears play the Panthers.
That could be fun.
Buccaneers play the Bengals.
Open in orange.
That could be a toss-up game. Both of those teams
every time we
need to
open
play
in
well.
Orange, we lost.
So
we're gonna wear all orange, and it's gonna be an orange out. It's gonna be terrible.
Yeah. Saints Lions. Again, the Saints might still be bad.
I watched the Pat McAfee show, and they're like, you know what? Go Saints, because they're doing some things in the off season that they're making them happy. They got a couple good running backs now. They got who's that one guy? They picked up somebody in free agency.
I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't paid attention.
They have him and Kamara. They have good wide receivers. Tyler Shuck is Tyler Shuck, so we'll see how he does. It kind of reminds me of Andy Dalton, just because he's an underrated prospect.
He hasn't made the playoffs yet.
That's true.
Yes.
But we'll see how the Saints do.
Bills Texans. I know the Texans did a lot.
Apparently, the Bills have not won a game in Houston yet since Josh Allen's been quarterback.
So they probably won't. And then Ravens Colts. I guess the Ravens should
Win that.
be good. I don't know. There's
New head coach for the Ravens.
Yeah, and same for Browns Jaguars.
Well, yeah.
I don't think the Browns are gonna
New head coach.
Yeah, Falcons Steelers.
New head coach.
I was flat in the
For
Falcons.
both of those teams, actually.
Yeah, Steelers. I think are going to do the same thing they did last year.
That game's in Pittsburgh. So a couple of years ago, the Falcons played the Steelers week 1 in Atlanta, and the Steelers won that game by kicking all field goals.
Yeah, it's when they had Wilson.
Yeah.
Jets Titans.
I don't know why people like the Titans' new logo. I do not at all. I think it looks stupid.
Just looks like an alternate version of the more detailed one.
Yeah,
they had.
with no cape.
So
the cape is cool. All right, Cardinals, Chargers.
Um,
That one's interesting too because everyone's like the Chargers are going to destroy the Cardinals, but everyone thinks the Cardinals are going to suck. But I think they're going to be all right.
I don't know. Who do they have as quarterback? Even?
Carson Beck or Jacoby
That's
Brissett.
it. That's it.
They have some good running backs though. They have Tyler Algier and the one they just drafted, Jeremiah Love.
Oh yeah, he might be good, but he might be like our next team here, Raiders.
Fernando Mendoza.
Their running back.
And Ashton Gianti.
Yeah, Gianti kind of had nothing last year. So this year he has a lot, so he should play better.
They're playing an easy opponent week 1 though.
Yeah, it'll be Kirk Cousins starting this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Never mind, they might lose then.
They're sitting Mendoza.
Wait, who's the Dolphins get they got a new head coach, right? Who did they get? I forget.
Oh yeah,
they got the Packers defensive coordinator.
Yeah, so they'll suck.
We'll see how that goes.
And then the Packers play the Vikings.
That's going to be a classic matchup where Kyler Murray comes in and
loses the game. Yeah. And then Commanders Eagles.
That's your favorite teams. I don't know. The Commanders are a big question mark because they had an off year from the year before, which was crazy, and then the Eagles are the Eagles who've been really good recently. I could see that going either way.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're predicting in May, but we'll see how it goes.
I think the Eagles will still be good. I don't know about.
And then I'm excited for that game. You got the big old John. You get to deal with John Harbaugh being your thorn in your side.
Cowboys Giants. Well, we'll see what he
brings to the table.
Yeah, what he does. I don't. He's making a lot of moves. Yeah, Cowboys
Dallas
Giants.
got Caleb Downs. They look pretty nice.
Which I think is the best. Yeah, could be the best draft pick if he's all they hyped him up to be. And then Broncos Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are
exciting game of the week.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are having a comeback year.
I don't know if the Chiefs are starting Mahomes week 1, right?
I'm not sure.
He's still recovering from. He tore that leg really late in the year.
Yeah, it's still a long time from now, so maybe he'll be
better,
fine by then. I don't know, but I still think the Chiefs are gonna have a good year. I think they'll have a bounce back year.
Yeah,
because everyone's wrote them off, and they have near the same roster, and they got pretty good draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they can be good. Let's look at that.
Look at your Cowboys schedule.
Yeah, I guess it starts on the Cowboys. Cowboys play the Giants week 1. That's more of a toss-up because I really don't know how the Giants are going to be.
I think week 1... every year, people are like, week 1, it's going to be this way. But I think week 1 every year is always a toss-up with every game because you never know how any team's going to do.
Except a few years ago when we stomped the Giants because the Giants were just bad. They didn't have a quarterback to start. I think everyone knew
we were going to win. 2 divisional games to start off. Yeah,
we played the Commanders next. That's another team that was very unhealthy. So
yeah,
it kind of depends to see where they're at.
Dan Quinn.
Full strength.
I think Dan Quinn's a good coach.
But yeah, both of those games are kind of toss-ups. I don't really know. Say it. Then we play the Ravens. The Ravens destroyed us last year. We play in Brazil.
Hope you guys win that one.
So I don't know. Playing down in Brazil, the Cowboys are more popular in the South.
Who's their coach again? Todd Monken.
I think so.
Destroyed.
So I hope we win. I like our head coach. I think he can win those games with a better roster.
And then the Battle of Texas.
I think we should be able to beat the Texans. I think that would be a really tough game. It should be a night game.
Texans have top 3 defense in the league.
Yeah, I think that's a game. Cowboys always beat good teams in the regular season and lose against teams they should beat in the regular season.
Do you think you should beat the Buccaneers?
Yeah, it's kind of the same. Another night game. It's kind of the same Cowboys Buccaneers. I'd say talent level. Like both of these teams have great talent. It's just are they actually going to play well?
Here's what the question mark is. So you beat Brady in his final playoff game. As Buccaneers quarterback, but now you're playing against Baker Mayfield. So that's a quarterback you should beat. But do you think you could beat him?
Baker Mayfield's pretty good. He just fell apart.
But is he Tom Brady good?
No one is. So
you're saying current Baker Mayfield's not as good as a 50-year-old Brady?
Yeah. I think the Cowboys got that at home. And then we played the Packers.
Micah Parsons.
We tied last year.
Wait, really? I forgot about that.
We tied 40-40, and the Cowboys were home. Now we're away in Green Bay. I think that's a statement game again, and I think they're going to drug really hard, and I think Cowboys take it. And then we play the Eagles. I think this is the year where we lose against the Eagles at home, and we beat the Eagles away. So we'll beat the Eagles away. We have back-to-back-to-back night games. And then back to a day game against the Cardinals. We always lose against the Cardinals every year. No matter how good the Cardinals are, we always found a way to lose. So I don't trust that game. Then we play the Colts. I think we beat the Colts.
Unless Phillip Rivers comes out of retirement.
Yeah, he'll go back to the Chargers. And then the Niners play the Cowboys. That's always an annoying game to watch because even as a Cowboys fan, both of these fan bases are
annoying.
Yeah. So I hope we beat the Niners. I really don't like the Niners. They're up there with the Eagles. Then we play the Titans. Should be an easy win.
You're underestimating the Titans. They got Cardell Tate. They got Cam Ward. Who's the running back? I forget.
Carnell Tate.
They drafted a running back, right? They drafted that one guy.
Michonne.
From The Walking Dead? Yeah. If she brings out a machete when she's carrying the football, then you're screwed.
But she'll hit the helmet. The helmet will block
it'll fall off, and then it'll hit her with the head.
What would fall off?
Strong machete.
And then Cowboys play the Eagles at home. I think that's the one we lose. Then we play the Seahawks. The Cowboys are actually kind of good against Seahawks. I think we beat the Seahawks. It won't be anymore. Seahawks lost a lot of
Is that the final game for
players. No, this week 13.
Oh.
Then we get a bye week. Then we play the Rams.
I saw the bye week and thought that was the end of the year.
Yeah. We lose against the Rams in the playoffs, but not in the regular season.
All
so
right.
I think
you think you can beat Ty Simpson?
Yeah. And then Jaguars. We lost a crazy game against them a few years ago, I think.
Yeah, I remember that game.
But now we're home and it's a night game, so Lawrence will fall apart.
What?
And then
Lawrence is great at night games.
And then
you see him against the Chiefs last year?
Yeah, you fell over. They couldn't tackle. Giants, Cowboys.
Again.
Second game, it's a 1 o'clock game. I'd say again, I think we split the series.
John Harbaugh is bad at 1 o'clock games.
So that's the one we'll win. And then to be announced is Cowboys Commanders in the last game of the week, and I think we'll win that.
Marcus Mariota will be in at that point.
Yeah, let's find Cincy.
Oh God.
Buccaneers, obviously, week 1.
We open in orange, so we struggle with all orange always, but we usually own Tampa Bay. We haven't lost to Tampa in a long time.
When was the last time you played them?
When Brady was their quarterback and we won that game. That was the only game that Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase all scored a touchdown in. Was the last time we played the Buccaneers.
Interesting.
So yeah, we'll see what happens.
I think it's a toss-up.
Week 1 games always kill me because I was like, I got really excited last year when we beat the Browns by 1 point because their kicker missed a kick, and I was like, I got almost as excited when we won the AFC Championship game. Like that's how excited I got. I was like, we won a Week 1 game. It was the Browns.
They fell apart.
Yeah. Well, the next game, Burrow had a toe turf.
Yeah.
So.
Well, this year is huge for Burrow's health. Like if he gets injured at all, then there's like future.
It's gonna prove Colin Cowherd's point right that when Joe Burrow was drafted, he's gonna be the next Tony Romo. It's gonna be true.
He's just gonna get hurt all the
It's gonna
time.
be true.
At least he hasn't. He's made a Super Bowl at least.
Yeah.
But
And Houston always gives us problems.
Houston's such a good team. It's gonna be tough.
I don't think we're gonna win that one. In Houston.
Yeah.
C.J. Stroud owns us. He only played us once, but he beat us that game.
And the Steelers.
Yeah. So, I think we could beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Steelers are. I think they're gonna do the same thing they did last year. They just still shouldn't be a good team. It's just they're gonna somehow become
the big question mark.
9-8.
Aaron Rodgers just signed, right?
Yeah, so he's playing.
But we'll see how he is. That's the big question mark.
Yeah, he did okay last season. So
we beat them in Cincy last year, lost them in Pittsburgh. But we usually do beat them in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. How did we lose? Oh yeah, we got destroyed in that Pittsburgh game.
Yeah.
God. Okay. We'll see what happens. Jaguars. We usually do good against the Jaguars.
Home game. All these 1:00 games.
Burrow owns Lawrence. I don't think he's lost to him yet.
Yeah. We'll
So,
keep the streak.
We'll see. Miami. Pretty confident about that. We just crushed Miami in Miami last year. Quinn Ewers was a starter.
You guys have an early bye week.
I know. That's what scares me. Okay, we're playing the Ravens. Our first time playing the Ravens without John Harbaugh since 2007. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, new era for Ravens, Bengals. Titans.
Should be. Bengals kind of an easy schedule.
We have the fourth easiest schedule.
Stay healthy.
Is what they ranked it as. But I never look into those things because every team's different from every year. So we'll see. Like, because the Bears had the easiest schedule last year.
Yeah. But the Bears were just like actually good.
Yeah.
Everyone thought they were
exactly.
Gonna be bad.
So like, I don't think it means anything.
So if the Bengals can stay actually good, then should have a good amount of wins. If they can stay healthy, I think that's just the biggest question for the Bengals. Can your best player stay healthy? Because if he isn't, then it's just another Flacco year. Then it's like, well, what do we do from now? But yeah, you have sure to the bye week.
Past Tennessee. Okay.
Falcons.
Atlanta
at 9:30 a.m.
Spain. That game's in Spain, so I'm excited. I think we could win that. So last time we played overseas, we tied with the Redskins in London. So hopefully we don't tie. That's all I hope for. Hopefully somebody gets a win out of that. But the only thing that scares me with the Falcons is Bijan Robinson. He's a very good running back. Our run defense has been terrible the last 3 years, but we got Dexter Lawrence. So my dad, I learned, is not very big on Dexter Lawrence. He said he's old and past his prime.
His last best season was 2023.
Yeah, so which was 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
Yeah. So,
but we'll see what happens. Hopefully Dexter Lawrence returns to form. We need him to be our new Geno Atkins or BJ Hill. Not really. We have BJ Hill.
Yeah.
DJ Reader is what I mean.
Because he traded Reader virtually. Reader went to the Giants.
I didn't mean Geno Atkins. Atkins was like a pass rushing defensive tackle, like an Aaron Donald before Aaron Donald. But yeah, DJ Reader was our big run stuffer before we lost him. So we need Dexter Lawrence to be our new DJ Reader. And as long as he's as good as DJ Reader, or if we expect him to be better. If he is better, then we'll be a great team. But if he's as good, we'll still be pretty good.
Yeah, I forgot the Bengals defense might be a hurdle this season still.
The draft pissed me off because we didn't draft a single linebacker, which is our weakest position group.
So that might be attacked the most.
Yeah.
But with the Falcons, if you could just stop the run game, then that should be a win.
And then Steelers, we're going to lose that game. We always lose We always lose the second game to the Steelers. But it is at night, which is interesting. If Burrow starts the night game, I think we have a good chance. But if it's our backup, we'll see. If it's Flacco.
Back-to-back night games against the Commanders again. The last night game wasn't good.
Well, the last night game against the Commanders was the start of people seeing how bad our defense was.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the touchdown of Terry McLaurin in which we had 10 people on the field.
Yeah, I remember watching that game, and they just went down the field every drive. It was insane.
That was depressing. If we scored on our very first drive 7-0, and I was like, okay, we're back, because we were 0-2.
Yeah.
And then I was like, we're back, and even Joe Buck was like, the Bengals are back, and then we lost. So I was like,
Bengals are not back. But yeah, and then the Saints. That should be an easy win.
New Orleans, but we're playing in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Depends on who their quarterback is. If it's Spencer Rattler, we might lose, but if it's Tyler Shough, we have a chance.
And then,
just kidding.
Yeah. Then the Browns in Cleveland.
I hate that we have both Browns games at the end of the year because they're better later in the year than they are early in the year.
By that time, they might come to their senses and start Sanders again. So
you don't think Watson's gonna start the whole year?
I think they'll start in the beginning and play horrible, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah," and put in Sanders.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I will say, the last game Watson played was against us.
Yeah.
But we'll see. The Browns always scare me for some reason.
And then the Chiefs.
First time playing Kansas City. We didn't play them at all last year.
Yeah, so this will be a crazy game.
Hopefully we win.
Whoever wins this game wins the AFC Championship.
First time we've hosted the Chiefs since 22 when we beat them.
Yeah.
In our orange and black uniforms.
So Burrow needs to keep the. Is it the series tied between him and Mahomes?
They're 3-3, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So he needs to win to take advantage, and then the Panthers, who I think a lot of people have high hopes for. Had a really good year last year.
Yeah, but we'll crush them.
I
mean, it's Carolina, dude. We always beat Carolina, except for the time we tied.
So we'll see. Bengals Colts. I think that should be a win.
Colts are also weird. They owned us in the Luck era, in the Manning era, but
yeah, they don't have Luck or Manning anymore. So I think that if Burrow's still fine by then, they're fine. And then the Ravens at night.
I think we could win that. Oh yeah,
home.
I'm glad you brought that up. So Thursday night, last 5 years, Thursday night football, we've played the Ravens in Baltimore. They never wanted us to give us a home game against the Ravens on Thursday night, and Burrow said something about that too. He's like, I wish we could play the Ravens on Thursday and our home, and they must have heard him say that because they just did it.
Who's they?
The NFL schedule makers.
Okay, all right. And then the week after that
we end the season with 2 home games, which is nice.
Yeah, Browns, Bengals. I think this depends like how the year was going. If the Bengals and everyone is relatively healthy and you guys had a strong year, I think you end it, you win. I think if it's not, both teams are shattered with injuries, then it's just going to be a bloodfest of a randomness, like 9-6 or something. But yeah. Bengals, I think, is completely dependent on.
Let's do a random team now.
Healthy.
Our third team will be random, just a randomized team.
Okay, that's kind of can't really be random.
All right, pick a number between 1 and
32.
Yeah. I'll go with 24. Okay. I just went down a lot for you.
San Francisco.
San Francisco. All right, let's do the team that we both hate.
Yeah. Play the Rams.
That's gonna be a good game
in Australia.
Oh, that's gonna be a terrible game. We'll see how it happens.
Give me Rams in Australia.
I could see that.
The Rams are pretty big in Australia, so.
Are they really?
Yeah. So give me Rams. The Dolphins Niners. Yeah, give me the Niners.
Yeah.
Cardinals.
You sound so happy about the Niners.
Okay.
Niners win that game too against Arizona.
Yeah, 2-1.
Broncos. I think they beat the Broncos.
Really?
I think the Broncos had one good year.
And fall off.
Yeah.
3-1.
We'll see how Bo Nix does.
And then the Seahawks. I think they lose the first meeting.
Ooh. All right.
And then the Commanders.
Let's alternate games. I think they'll win against the Commanders. So then you go for the Falcons.
I think they'll beat the Falcons.
All right.
But then the bye week.
I think they lose to the Raiders.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see it.
We'll see if Kirk Cousins still got it. And then the Cowboys. Obviously, the Cowboys are going to be. And then they play Mexico City against the Vikings.
Minnesota. I think they win. They have a big fan base in Mexico.
Oh, not Mexico City.
Yeah. Just Tijuana.
Yeah. And then the Seahawks, again, I think they win the second meeting. Let's see.
Okay.
Giants.
Give me John Harbaugh. He owns the Niners.
Then the Rams again. I think the Rams sweep them. The Rams get both.
Okay.
And then
I'll go with the Niners against the Chargers. They'll have a weird thing where they lose to the Raiders but beat the Chargers.
Yeah. and then it'll lose to the Chiefs. And then the Eagles.
What's the record at this point? I don't have to be keeping track.
I don't even know. They've only lost like 3 or 4 games.
They'll beat the Eagles, I think.
Yeah. And then the Cardinals, I think they'll beat the Cardinals. So they'll probably only have like 4 losses on the season.
Maybe 5 or 6 losses, but
yeah.
I think the Niners make the playoffs, though, basically is the point.
Yeah.
So that's it for the NFL talk. All right, if you're a non-sports listener, we're finally done with that.
Yeah. To all our non-sports listeners out there.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. So I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts on capital punishment?
What do you mean?
So, like, are you in favor of the death penalty, or do you think it is stupid?
I thought we don't talk about politics.
All right, fine. We won't talk about politics. I was just curious. We could talk about it off the record.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. Okay, let's move on to this then. Okay, this isn't political related. So, if a doctor told you, like, the exact date you were going to die, would you want to know that, or would you want to keep it a secret?
Yeah, I'd want to know that.
You would?
Yeah.
Oh, so I got this topic from the Rooster Teeth podcast, actually, and Bernie and Gus both said the same thing, that they would want to know when they would die, like what date they would die. But I don't know if I would, to be honest, because, like, I kind of want to keep it, like...
My reason's a little silly. It's just that you have the option to.
Yeah,
so, like,
that's true.
Because you don't in reality.
That's
to just know is just kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And if it's like tomorrow or something, and then or the next hour, then you're like, oh well.
Yeah. Might as well go out with a bang, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would, just because, like, obviously having the option's interesting, but, like, keeping it a surprise makes me less anxious for when the day's gonna come. I don't know.
Yeah, I think death, like, I always thought it was weird. I guess I kind of get it, but, like, the grim take on death, because I don't think death is, like, a horrible thing. It's what kills you is the horrible thing.
Yeah.
How do you die is probably what I'm more fearful of than actually dying. Because obviously we all know we're going to die, but I don't want to be, like, tortured or, like, stabbed or something.
Yeah.
Like, that would suck. Or die from, like, a disease. But yeah, I always thought it was fascinating how, like, some cultures it's really, like, grim and sad and you're more grief, and other cultures it's like really, like, happy because it's like, hey, this person lived a long life, let's celebrate their life, which I agree with more. I think you should be celebratory, especially if someone lived a long life.
And as Norm Macdonald said, if people want to throw a party at your funeral, then just wait, because I'm dead. There'll be party days later.
Yeah. Just wait. But, yeah. At least that's how I...
Alright,
see
so
it.
that's it for death. So since you indulged me on the long conversation we had about The Walking Dead earlier, let's go ahead and talk about what you've been doing recently with... You said you've been getting into Warhammer and...
Yeah,
stuff like that.
So, our Warhammer 40k is what I've been getting into because Space Marine 2 was on sale. And I started playing that, and it's pretty much, again, it's like space D&D. Warhammer 40k has been around since the 80s.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it came out in 87.
I remember Bernie talking about that. He's like, this is like a really old thing that people don't realize.
Yeah. And my only knowledge of it was we have a friend named Grant who plays Fantasy Warhammer, like Vermintide is a game.
Like I said, we have a friend named Grant. He's been on the podcast before.
Yeah. And we play. I don't think he likes 40k very much, but I knew that side of it, and I also knew, like, Henry Cavill, the actor, like, interviews would talk about 40k and how much he loved it. He's making a show, I think, about it. So I played the game, and the game's very fun. Yeah, the game was really fun, the story was cool, but it's kind of one of those things you don't know what's going on at all. So I started watching all the videos and stuff, and it's a lot. You know, it's like fantasy where it's just all these factions, and there's the main factions like the Imperium, and you fight for the Emperor, who's like a guy that's stuck to his golden chair because he sacrificed himself like 10,000 years prior to 40k, which is 30k. And there was something called the Horus Heresy because he had like 20 sons that were called Primarchs, and one of them betrayed them. And it's even more complicated because he knew one of them was going to betray him because he could see into the future, but he didn't know exactly who was going to betray him because he couldn't tell who was into the future. So, like, he was, like, didn't want to promote his sons because he was worried, and then he obviously promoted the son that would end up betraying him, and then it's called Horus Heresy.
Oh, boy.
And then he, like, pulled sons, and then there's just, like, the weirdest thing is, so they're all human, but, like, the Emperor uses his genes to create like super marines and these that are related to like his sons, which are Primarchs, to control or to take over the entire galaxy. And the reason it's so convoluted is just because it's like D&D. So the story is supposed to be ongoing. So you're supposed to like play D&D and you have this basis of the story, and you create your own.
Interesting.
Or you play as one of the Marine squads on a planet attacking stuff. And there's a lot of factions through the years. Like there's like an aliens faction. There's like something called like these robots things. I forget their names. And then there's the Tau, which is just like some alien race. But yeah, it's all over the place. It's tough getting into. It's like when you get into a new franchise of anything.
Yeah.
It's a lot. My favorite group or whatever, I forget the Primarch's name, who's like the Primarch's like the leader of these Marines, is the Space Wolves Marines, because they wear like they're space furries pretty much, but with guns.
So it's like Star Fox.
Yeah, it's pretty much Star Fox. And I like them. They're pretty cool. But the craziest thing about Warhammer is just, it's such a, besides the video games, it's a very expensive hobby. Like, you have to, and the point, there's like two sectors of the hobby. I think even Henry Cavill explains it's like, the one sector is painting. So you get these sets and you put them together and you paint them. And that's like a huge portion of people do that just for the hobbies, creating them and painting them. And then the other portion is actually playing them, and like there's all these rules, and it's like D&D rules where you play them, and that's what you care about. So it's very time consuming. I see why it's a very like hard to get into, because once you're into it, you have to really invest your time. But that being said, I just like the Space Marines, and the Space Marine story was fun. You fight like orcs, who are like futuristic orcs that are just like jokesters, and they love to fight. So you kill them, and the guys that you follow, the Imperium, are like ultra serious. But yeah, it's a fun franchise. But yeah, it's a lot. It's very convoluted. It's like
Do you think you'd ever get into like a franchise like that, to like that hardcore, like?
If I had a lot of money,
Right.
I would get the sets and stuff, probably at $40K. But the problem with a lot of these hobbies is they're costly in money.
Yeah.
So it kind of depends. Like if you love the hobby, maybe you can create your knowledge to make like a YouTube channel. So that's like a self-investment.
Star Wars theory.
Yeah, it becomes a self-investment.
Yeah.
But besides that, when it's just a hobby, you're kind of just like, I just want to play the casual
Right, yeah.
type
I think it's a healthy thing to do. But like,
stuff.
yeah, it depends. Like I think being that like interested in something is also really good. Like
Yeah.
it helps you distract yourself from the real world and everything.
Well, it's good to have hobbies.
Yeah.
I think hobbies, my biggest gripe is you should have something that causes you to critically think.
Yeah.
So if your hobby, the greatest thing D&D wise is that it causes you to critically think. You have to think of like damage, you have to think of strategy, that like gets your mind working. The worst things is stuff that like doesn't, is kind of just what kids these days call slop. Like it doesn't make you think. You're just doing it.
I forget who I was
type deal.
talking to. Shit, I gotta remember. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, that's what I like about 40K. Or the biggest thing I like, you like even the games, you kind of have to actually think like, oh, I want to play as this guy because he does this damage, and you can't just like blindly run into stuff. That's fun in some cases. Like Left 4 Dead is close to that, but Left 4 Dead you still kind of have to. You can't just run away from everyone because then you'll get smokered or something.
Jacob.
Yeah.
Because Jacob does that even when we're not playing tank.
Yeah, and he gets caught, and he's like, "Oh gosh," but
and then he gets mad at you. It's like,
Yeah,
you're the one right ahead.
yeah, and then you save
You
him.
guys wouldn't kill the smoker.
Yeah, and then he starts shooting at you.
Oh god.
But yeah, that's what I like with hobbies. This is something should get you to really think. I think
And
those are
it's
strong.
good to talk about with people who are interested in also those hobbies, so you can have common ground with people.
Yeah, and it gets you out. I guess the better thing of 40K or like a D&D type game is like it actually builds more of like a human connection because you're going to go out and play with people that are interested in that as well, and it's like a face-to-face still thing. Because I think that is important to have a hobby that kind of requires a social aspect. Probably better in person, just because that's better. Whether we like it or not, as humans, we're social creatures. Mm-hmm. So if you lock yourself away from social life completely, then you're still missing that. Whether you're like, oh, I like this or not, it's still not good for you. It's like eating bad. Yeah. You know, you're like, oh, this tastes really good, but it screws you up in the long run.
It's like, yeah. You can even throw like doing drugs or alcohol there.
Yeah, that too. Like that, and I do think drugs are like a funny.
I was talking
thing.
to somebody at work. This is somebody who I used to work with consistently because he's an unloader on the east at night, but I haven't been over there in a long time since I've been loading. Yeah. But I was sent over there last week, and I got to work on a truck with him, and he has noticeably lost weight, so I was talking to him about that a little bit, and he was like, yeah, I lost 100 pounds. I was like, holy cow, good job. He's like, well, yes and no. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I've been doing a lot of cocaine. I was like, okay. So he hasn't been losing it like by working out.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, interesting.
That's kind of funny. It reminds me, I was working in a trailer with a dude, I think he's from Detroit. He always wears a different baseball hat.
Oh, that's cool.
And stuff every day. He like collects them. This older black gentleman. He was like, he was like, where are you from? And I was like, I'm mostly here. I was like, I have family from Chicago and all that, and lived there for a bit. And he was like, he's like, Chi-Town? He's like, man, I used to, like, his wife's from there.
He used to be there as a kid.
Yeah, so pretty much. He was like, that's where I met my wife, man. And he was like, have you been to the South Side? I was like, yeah, White Sox are great. It's the best team. He's like, right on, man. And he was telling me, he's like, let me tell you something. He's like, don't become a full-timer here, and don't become a supervisor.
He's right.
And I was like, why? And he was like, if you're a full-timer or a supervisor, you're going to want them to do those drugs, man. And he was like, there used to be this girl, really good-looking girl, that became a supervisor.
Tell you that story.
Yeah, she was really good-looking. And she got into that cocaine, man, and she just looked, like they ran through her, man. He's like, I don't want to see you doing that.
Well, the thing is with the guy I was talking to, he looks the same. He just looks thinner. Like he looked like he worked out. It was weird. But
cocaine isn't like.
He told me it was funny too because he was trying to give me like some positives about cocaine. He's like, it clears up sinuses and all that. I'm like,
oh yeah, I bet.
It's like, I was like, all right, cool. And he's like, I'm not an addict or anything. He was trying to convince me that. He was like, I'm not an addict. I've gone without it for a week, so like I'm doing pretty all right. I was like, yeah, great.
That's somebody with any drug goes, I'm not an addict, but
he said that too. He's like, I know addicts say that they're not an addict, but
it's like, all right. I think the best thing honestly, the best thing to do with drugs is just not take them altogether. But
yeah,
that's
once you get into that rabbit hole, it's really hard to get
out. It's best to just stay with them completely. But I mean, I get like certain drugs just aren't as bad as others, and if you limit yourself,
and there's some that are good for medicinal uses.
Yeah, like marijuana can help with actual things. Fentanyl is put into things to help to deal with pain, even though you could argue in any case that's not good. But yeah, and even alcohol and stuff can mask pain depending on what you're doing. But I think the wildest point is just that like they're literally mostly like poisons. Maybe the most like one of the healthiest drugs you could take besides marijuana on a limited level is caffeine, because it is a drug.
Yeah.
just that caffeine isn't going to screw you up long time as long as you don't go overboard. You'll be fine, and it doesn't like alter your mind or slow you down or literally poison yourself. I think the weirdest thing with alcohol, since I had a class at Ohio State called Russian Vodka, where we studied how alcoholism was huge in Russia because their economy depended on it. And but the other effect was like the societal and the how you're like literally poisoning yourself type deal with is what alcohol is. And we also compared it to the American drug epidemic, which is huge in the United States, that it's not alcohol in the United States that's like everyone's hooked on. It's fentanyl and these hardcore drugs. And the weirdest thing of demographic, it's men from the age of like 40 to 45 are the ones that are taking these drugs at the highest level. And it's all mostly in obviously poor areas of the United States, all over the United States. And again, this is because like the economy is really dependent on pharmaceutical drugs. So it's really easy to get these drugs, and it's really heavily promoted. So that it's like a rabbit hole. Also, I think American culture and society is very pro-drug. It's pro...
well, it's because like it's like a cause and effect thing. Like because 50 years ago they were probably very anti because of the government was anyway.
Yeah, more than 50 years ago now.
And it caused a big like
over 100
uproar. It caused an uproar amongst the community who were pro that, and it like as a result has evolved into it being generally okay, okay now.
And alcoholism used to be way worse, like in the mid 1800s to Prohibition, because water wasn't clean.
There's no alternatives to water or alcohol.
Yeah, so drinking alcohol was better than water to get that. And you had the reason why the women temperance movement in this country was huge. Women getting their voting rights was along with Prohibition, because the people that were affected the most by alcohol was pretty much women, because they're in the household and the men were drinking. So they would go back home and domestic abuse was like skyrocketed.
And during Prohibition, to get around drinking alcohol, they would like have like
it's how moonshining became a thing.
And churches and doctors' offices basically acted as bartenders, because they would prescribe them with alcohol. And there was also another thing. It was like a brick of like grapes. It was weird. I don't know what it was called exactly, but they said there was a note on it saying don't do this, this, and this, because then it becomes wine. So they give them instructions to say that. Like that's a workaround.
Yeah.
And that's actually how grape juice was formed, I think. And that's how Welch came out 10 years later after Prohibition, and they made grape juice.
That's interesting. I do know our government made money illegally from its own prohibition, because it didn't bother to go.
That was the era of mobsters and gangsters really.
Mobsters were what was his name, Luciano, who kind of created the Five Families. He was probably the richest mobster ever, maybe the richest crime syndicate in American history at least. And it's just because of Prohibition. Right. But yeah, it's a wild time. It was initially a good, I think the people that wanted to pass it had good intentions. It just didn't work.
It's funny because the same people who passed it also what's the word? Changed their mind about it.
Yeah, because they realized this isn't solving anything.
They were the reasons for 2 amendments.
Yeah, and I think the best thing to come out of it is women got the rights to vote pretty much because of Prohibition, because they had the power to get that and pretty much ratified. And they're like, hey, we kind of were the huge behind the temperance movement, and we don't even have the right to vote yet. So should we have the right to vote? And that was a huge popularity thing. And Woodrow Wilson's wife, not even Woodrow Wilson, because he had polio and was really ill at this point. So I argue that his wife got it passed.
Yeah.
But it's a crazy thing with drugs. And I think it'll always be a problem in the United States just because it's more open, it's more free.
There's always going to be a problem of some kind in the United States with how many people are here.
Yeah, and there's not a taboo. In China and Russia, especially Russia, alcoholism has gotten way better because Putin has one of the good things he's done is he is very anti-alcohol, and he's like represented that and pushed that.
Trump's anti-alcohol.
Yeah, himself at least. He's not like Putin is like, no one should drink an excessive amount. Where Trump is like, I don't drink an excessive amount, but I don't care if you do.
It's kind of very Trump.
And China is very anti-drug as well. I mean, both of these countries, you get death penalty for having marijuana because it's a very taboo thing to them.
Yeah. I remember Paul McCartney being arrested in Japan.
Yeah, I think it's still taboo in Japan. Japan doesn't have as harsh punishments, but
Japan's like the United States in a lot of ways. But
yeah, kinda. Japan is.
I mean, just the way they run things.
Oh yeah, well yeah, today. But Japan is still very one ethnicity, very like pro one ethnicity.
Yeah.
It's a sort of smaller country as well, so they're like, the way they still organize themselves and run themselves is very different.
But they have a bunch of touristy stuff like America does.
Every place I guess does. You have to have a tourism market.
Yeah.
Even North Korea has one, which is crazy. But us Americans can't go to North Korea.
North Korea has tourist stuff for their own people because they never go out.
Yeah, but a lot of it's like North Korea has opened up a lot to non-Americans. So the groups of people that can't go to North Korea, if you just have this single passport, you can be a dual citizen. But if you're, I believe, Israeli, American, or Malaysian, you're banned from going to North Korea and South Koreans and Japanese. But if you're a Russian or you're Chinese, it's really easy to get a visa into North Korea. They've opened their tourism a lot to what they deem not their enemies.
Well, just get citizenship in Russia and China, and then boom, you're good.
But yeah, I don't think Russia or China will allow you to be dual citizens with a United States citizenship. Okay. So you have to just take it. I know. I think it's Turkmenistan. You could pay them $10,000 to become a citizen there. So that would help you out. Yeah. But yeah, I would actually love to go to North Korea at some point in my life. But you can never as an American citizen.
I would love to go to another country at some point in my life.
Yeah. Well, I already have that checked. But Canada and technically Mexico. So. But yeah, and that is another thing that I always find crazy is a lot of Americans don't travel to other countries, and this is like a well-known stereotype between many non-Americans. When I talk to my Russian friends and friends in other countries, they're always like, Americans don't travel to other countries. So it's odd to them, they say, when they actually meet Americans. Or I remember when I talked to my Russian teacher, and she was like, are you sure you're American? Because we were going through each country in Russian and its flag. Yeah. And I was like, she would just show me the flag and like, what is this in Russian? And she was like, are you sure you're American? Because you know all these countries. But that's what I noticed when I asked Russians too. Like, what is the stereotype of Americans? Stupid. Yeah, and it's that our education is really horrible. Stupid. And that it's LA or New York City as well. So they think it's...
like LA and New York is the whole country.
Yeah, I remember when I talked to my friend from China, the first city he went to was in Los Angeles. And he was like, it's so dirty and disgusting. So he said, when I came to the United States initially, I just thought this was like, it would be like this everywhere. Mm-hmm. And then when he visited the other states, he's like, oh, LA is just kind of like some of the worst the United States has to offer. Yeah. But yeah, so I just thought that was the funny perception. And the funny thing is, with some of my Russian friends and stuff and teachers, they say they'll never go to the United States because they're like, I just don't want to go there because I don't like their culture. And I think they look at the negative sides of it. And I think it's hilarious because Americans feel the same way. If you talk to certain Americans that never been out of the country, they're like, well, I never want to go here because it's going to be...
Like a friend we know.
Horrible, yeah. It just made me realize it's all like perspective. And it's really what you're going to open yourself up to. Obviously, you're not going to like a place if you're like, I'm not going to like it this. And you go there anyways, you're just going to look for a reason to not like it. It's you have to have an open mind to just let yourself get away. But I think that's a notion with a lot. I think it's just a little worse in the United States because being closed-minded is really easy. Yeah. And our education does not help that. or at least our public education. Because when I always think of like high school and prior to that, like I didn't care about school. All the history I really learned was outside of school, because we just learned like basics, like this is this, and you never learn like a detail. So you're like, oh, whatever. And then when you study it more in detail, you're like, oh, this is actually interesting. So I think that's the one problem I have with public. I think private education is way better in the United States, but public education in the United States is pretty lacking. And one of the, I think, most American things is to teach Americans to be different, but then when Americans think differently, you're like, no.
It's because the people have their own biases.
Yeah, that's a huge thing. That's one thing I like at my current university, Ohio State, is like I've had really good professors that are really like open-minded. And when you interpret history, it's just from the sources that you have and we could find. And sometimes that source is only one source, and the person that took that source cites sources that we don't have anymore. So, it could be taken with a grain of salt.
That's why I haven't really gotten into Roman history very much. I'm going to try to, but like, they obviously are very through their own lens.
Yeah,
so,
them and then the Chinese are kind of bad, because the Chinese will say the way the Chinese did population was different. So that's why like it's a bit of a meme in history where it says like 5 million Chinese died in a war, but maybe not actually. It's just that's how they measured population.
They did lose the most people in World War II.
So yeah. So I realized that's true. That's why one of the bigger arguments I've been watching an expert on medieval history was talking about the Mongolians and how the Mongolians it's pretty much a myth that saying the Mongolians eliminated like 1/3 of the population, because we don't know. The truth is we don't know. There's no like consensus you can actually look at. And where that misconception came from was an atlas that came out in the 80s by Americans. And in the atlas during the Mongolian period, 1200s they've been around a while, to beyond. I don't remember when they started to fall apart. 1400s, 1500s. It has like a huge dip. And they cite a source that doesn't even talk about Mongolian history at all. So the source doesn't even make sense that they cite. The deeper argument was like, oh, you go into China and you see this huge population decrease. But it's because how they conducted censuses and population was different, and dynasties were changing. So that how the dynasty would count the population changed over time. So then now when people look at the past, they're like, oh, where did these 50 million people go? Must have been Genghis Khan and battles and stuff that killed them all. But that's not the case. And the Mongolians didn't even keep record of like how many people they killed
they didn't care.
or what they destroyed. Yeah, so we'll never know how the devastation. That's the point with the Mongolians. Like, so we'll never know if they were that brutal or not. We could just study like what they were doing in their warfare, their culture, and like their conquest. But yeah, that's what I thought was interesting with medieval history. And also medieval history is kind of nuts with like just traveling around, what they call them, pilgrimage. But like that's such a crazy time to travel around, just because to travel around you needed to have some money at least. I guess you didn't, or no money, because you couldn't afford to live anywhere, so you're just walking around. But definitely an interesting time to live as humans, for sure. But yeah, and also you could just die from a disease. You could just randomly, because we didn't understand it, and also didn't have the technology to solve it. But yeah, we're now today, everything's so connected that like, if you're visiting a place, you can study everything about it prior. Like, okay, I do this and that, this whatever. So yeah, I find that interesting. And Romans are interesting because there's usually like their own historians, and obviously biased towards their own history. I think one of the historians, like external sources to the Bible of like claim Jesus being resurrected and talked about Jesus that we have, that's like not just the Bible, is from a Roman historian, Hectorus or something. I forget his name. It starts with an H. But he wrote a lot about Roman history, but he wrote about Jesus as well, and like the resurrection and stuff like that. So that's what like people point to in of actual history interpretations. But again, I always wondered like how fast it spread and how deep it spread with like post Jesus's death or resurrection. Like how fast did it spread? Because it was kind of dependent on his disciples and then his missionaries, and it spread it like any religion. But yeah, I thought that was fascinating, and it would be interested living in Roman times, because you're kind of born into the job you're going to have for the most part, right? There's exceptions. Wasn't even Caesar born poor, and he kind of had to fight? But
well, I don't know if that's true.
Or was he born into nobility? I don't remember.
I don't remember which relative it is. Hang on, I'm thinking about it. I think it was rumored that his grandma was a goddess of some sort. So I think.
But that could have been post his fame.
That could be
rewritten.
That could be, but I don't remember, to be honest.
I know he was at least as low as a general taking command, and the people that were higher than him and then equals and then fought against was who? Pompey, and then
got beheaded.
All the general running around Rome. Like the craziest thing just must have been like being a lifelong soldier, because they were like given land and stuff like that, and slaves and all that. So you like have your family on a plantation and you're just kind of living most of your life fighting, and then you retire and you just on a vineyard or something in Italy. But yeah, that must have been a wild time to live for sure. But I do think my thing is like any point in history is great to live in when you're rich and powerful, and any point in history is horrible to live in when you're poor.
I don't know if being rich and powerful in any era in history is great. I think well, it depends on what power.
It's how you control yourself, because usually these guys get themselves into their own demise.
That's what I was meaning.
Yeah,
because the French Revolution was very great for those
people. Yeah. Like if I was rich and powerful, then I'd leave.
That's what King Louis tried to do, and then they were like, "Wait a second."
Yeah, he was an idiot. He was like, "Let me go in this carriage. It's all nice." And
I love the way oversimplified portrayed it. Like they were like, "You look familiar. Can I see your ID?" All right, here you go. It says you're King Louis the 16th. Yeah, so.
Yes.
Take them away, boys.
They take them away. But yeah, they're better.
They got really close to. What country was that? It wasn't.
Switzerland?
Yeah, it might have been Switzerland. No, they was northeast of France.
Oh.
At the time, I don't know where that was.
Oh, would that be Holy Roman Empire or some portion of it?
It might be west of that a little bit.
Oh.
But they almost got to that country. They almost crossed the border.
Belgium?
It might have been Belgium, but I don't know if it was Belgium at the time.
Or Netherlands?
It was Belgium, but
okay.
I don't know if it was Belgium at the time. I forget what it was called.
Was it all Netherlands or Belgium?
They got the point is they got really like they were like 30 miles away from it, and then the guy was like stopped their carriage.
The guy?
I don't know.
You know who I am?
I don't know what his name is, but it's a random French guy.
His name was Guy.
That'd been crazy. And then they almost got away with it, and it would have been that. But then since they got caught, heads were about to roll.
Would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling Robespierre's.
Yeah. Robespierre.
But yeah, that was another time that was kind of crazy to live, because to get information too, you'd have to send like advisors. I remember at Columbus State, I read when we did I think it was modern history or something. You just go through like each period, and I had to write a paper from a primary source, and the primary source was a British advisor in the Franco-Prussian War for the French, and the British thought the French were going to kick the Prussians' ass. So they the advisor came over and he's like, "All right, you guys are going to win," and then obviously that didn't happen. And the French forces, when he was there with them, got destroyed, which caused him to get captured by the Prussians. And the Prussians was like, "Who are you?" And then this is from the British guy writing his perspective, and he's like, "I'm just advisor, seeing how the war's going." And then and they're like, "All right, we're going to let you go, but you can't return to the French for like X amount of days. I don't know why that's like a punishment or anything. So he's like, okay. And then he immediately goes back to the French force, but he gets lost. And he like, there's a barn. He hides in the barn as the Prussian because it's kind of chaos. It's war. And a French military guys capture him, but he's like, I'm British, and they think he's lying. They think he's a spy. So they're gonna sentence him and kill him. But a farmer, he writes that a veteran farmer from the years of the past, was like, he's British, I know he's British, because like obviously he is, and they're like, oh, okay. So then he went back to the forces. So he almost got killed by the French when his whole job was to advise and let the, I think it was some British newspaper, know about the war.
The Daily Mail.
Yeah, the Daily Mail. But I just thought it was hilarious. Like, that's what happens. Because when you're an advisor, you're just on the outside.
Yeah.
Like, even the American Civil War, I find it wild. Like, the Russians sent advisors and other military, European powers sent advisors just to watch our military and see what things were like. And again, that played a huge factor in Europe's thinking of like possibly supporting a side. And then obviously Lincoln's smartest thing was like, hey, this is a war about slavery, and everyone's like, all right, and then step back. And obviously victories, like the South sucks. When you read it, like more in the history, they had some successes, but even their successes you could tell weren't gonna last. Like, they needed some insane things to happen to even have like a medium consensus of the Union saying, fine, you're your own country. Yeah. Like, it just wasn't going to happen. They were poorly trained. They didn't have the resources. They couldn't match the production of the Union. Like, they just got steamrolled, pretty much. But
we're going to wrap up in 5 minutes here, so just any final things you got to say before we get out of here?
But yeah, I guess only in our 5 minutes is our next podcast will be right before this, I suppose.
What?
But you guys will be seeing this after this event happens. We're going to a cabin. So
this is gonna be interesting. We actually plan on recording. I actually didn't tell you this yet. So okay, real quick before, we're gonna do the thing Thursday, obviously.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, Jared actually gave me this idea. So you and I just like in the kitchen or something have this like this. We just record for like an hour, just us talking, and people can come and go as they please, and I'll edit later like the names that come in.
Okay.
We'll
see how that goes.
It'd be like a little talk show kind of thing.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. That depends what substances are used, and how
anything crazy.
How connected, like it is, because that could be a chaos. But I don't mind seeing what it'll be like.
The point is, we should have episodes for the next few weeks already, like recorded and ready to get out.
Simple recording. Maybe we're all together, so maybe we'll have a little recording of what it is and what we're doing, and that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. Again, whenever you plan in a huge group, it doesn't usually always go how it's planned.
But I'm not planning a huge group thing. Like, it could just be us two talking, and if whoever.
Yeah, at the start. But again, I'm just saying, be wary.
And if people say things, obviously you'll be believed.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's where I just thought it would be more chaos, where it's like we're sitting talking, and it'll be like that.
I think that'd be kind of funny though.
But it would just be constant, like we're not talking about anything, and it's talking over each other, and you just never hear. Or someone has music, or someone has the TV going, and then you're like, "Hey, could you be quiet?" It's like,
well, we could also preface it before we do it and let them know what we're doing, and if they want to partake, they can come in. And
we can see. But again, I'm not trustworthy in a group, because they're gonna be like, okay, and they're like,
whatever you want to do.
Yeah, but we can try.
But some of the people will be all right. If it's like Nate and Spencer, they'd be like, woo. If it's like Connor and Ian, they'd be like, what's up, Rob?
that will be the straw. But we could see it. I think it would be funny. The podcasts can vary from 5 minutes to an hour, depending on.
If it's 5 minutes, it's not even going to go up. It'll be
like it should be
like bloopers.
Bagel bites.
Bagel bites.
Bagel bites. That's what it should be called.
We haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, Bagel Bites, the podcast of failure. But yeah, we'll have a lot to talk about. But the weirdest thing is we'll have like a podcast that'll come out after the cabin trip where we probably minimally talk about it.
I talked about all this.
Oh, okay. And so it's going to be maybe a little weird. Yeah, so anyways...
Do you like my cowboy?
Oh, that's a cowboy?
I don't know.
That's an Amish guy.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But
That's a true guy.
but anyways, thank you guys for another episode.
You're welcome.
I think we're looking to keep it going until we hit our milestone, so yeah.
This was episode 41, and the next one will be 42.
Yeah.